This is a Sports Catastrophe production. Hey there, Heather, ho there, Jeff Cutter Diving. Welcome you to another Sports Catastrophe birthday boy. And the birthday boy for today, September the 28th, is a Washington Nationals treasure. Not Bryce Harper and not Steven Strasburg, but this guy played 16 years for Washington in Major League Baseball. He is known as Mr. National because he's been a member of the Washington team from their inaugural season in 2005 to 2021, and he was the first draft pick by Washington after they relocated from Montreal. He was picked 4th in the 2005 baseball draft. He was a third baseman before transitioning to first base in 2015. He is Ryan Zimmerman, who is 38 years old. Zimmerman actually played on an amateur team with B.J. Upton and David Wright. We played on a showcase team with Wright, Mark Reynolds, and the Upton boys, B.J. and Justin. Zimmerman played high school baseball as a shortstop and got an offer from Virginia to play collegiate baseball. So he did. He played 3 years for the Cavaliers, played and started all of the games he did, and did pretty well for himself. He's got a lot of Virginia records and all that. Only 29 Virginia Cavaliers players have made it to the major leagues, alongside Javier Lopez and Mark Reynolds. Zimmerman was named ACC All-Tournament and All-American. Zimmerman did pretty well for himself. The 2005 baseball draft happened. Arizona took Justin Upton, who was, of course, Ryan Zimmerman's AAU teammate. So that's cool. And then Alex Gordon went second to Kansas City. Seattle gambled on a catcher, 3rd overall, Jeff Clement. And then Washington took Ryan Zimmerman. This was also the same draft that had Milwaukee take Ryan Braun, Toronto taking Ricky Romero, Colorado taking Troy Tulowitzki, Pittsburgh taking Andrew McCutchen, Cincy taking J.A. Bruce, and Boston taking Jacoby Ellsbury. So anyway, he was sent to minor league ball and moved up quickly. He was even called up to the majors in September 2005 when rosters could expand. So he played a couple of games at shortstop, but then moved to third base, sharing with Finney Castilla. He hit a double in his first home game at RFK Stadium before they moved to National Stadium. In 20 games, he actually hit 10 doubles, which is pretty good. And he hit over 300 and at least 50 at-bats, the only guy to do that on the Washington squad. So he stayed up with the big boys in 2006, taking over third base duties from Castilla, who went to San Diego. Zimmerman would change his number from 25 to 11. And then his first home run was a home run off of Billy Wagner of the Mets in the second deck of Shea Stadium, helping that tying home run helped the Nats win in extra innings. On Father's Day 2006, he actually hit a walk-off against the New York Yankees, of all people. He was amazing. He helped himself out. He walked off the Marlins on July 4th of July 2006. And with his 20th home run on the final day of the 2006 season. He tied Brad Wilkerson for the Expos / Nationals record for home runs by rookie. I believe Bryce Harper blew up that one. Zimmerman was taken second place in the 2006 Rookie of the Year voting to Hanley Ramirez, and one of the closest Rookie of the Year votes ever. Anyway, Zimmerman would do a lot of things. It was amazing and all that. So Zimmerman was known for doing pretty well for himself. In 2007, he got 24 home runs. 2008, he hit the game-winning home run off Peter Moreland in the first ever game at Nationals Park becoming the first Washington player to get a home run at that park as well. Unfortunately, he missed a month with a labral tear. Zimmerman did agree to a one-year deal for $3.3 million, but then a few months later, he signed a 5-year, $45 million contract to stay with Washington. He had safely in 30 straight games, which was the first time in 3 years that someone had done that. He's won a few Gold Gloves. Zimmerman would be given a 6-year, $100 million extension in 2012. He would struggle and all that, but he did okay helping the Nats get to the playoffs against the St. Louis Cardinals in the National League Division Series, but losing Game 5. Zimmerman went arthroscopic surgery on his right shoulder, and Zimmerman would be back by May 29th. But at 26 home runs. So Zimmerman moved to left field because of Anthony Rendon doing well at third base. And because of his shoulder injuries, the Nats decided to give him the chance to play first base instead of third base, with Rendon now being a third baseman. So he did it. Zimmerman hit his 10th career walk-off home run in 2015, making him third in National League history. Zimmerman in 2017 had a form that was one of his best since 2009. July 2017, he broke the Expos/Nationals franchise record for home runs, and I believe that was Vladdy Guerrero Sr. Anyway, Zimmerman would have the RBI record near the end of the year. He hit a big home run in Game 2 of the NLDS against the Cubs in 2017, but they lost in 5 games. And that was only one of 3 hits Zimmerman had that series. He would have an oblique injury in 2018. He would actually become the all-time career hits leader of the Expos/Nats, breaking the record of Tim Wallach. So he did that. He would have plantar fasciitis. Anyway, Zimmerman came up to the plate in the wildcard game in 2019 against the Brewers and hit a pinch hit single. And then eventually Washington had that big hit that Todd Grisham let under his glove and helped Washington make the playoffs. In the NLDS, Zimmerman secured a win in Game 4 with a 3-run home run and won Game 5, which shockingly, everyone was shocked. They went to the NLCS against St. Louis. He went 4 for 60, but still, Washington went to the World Series. They swept the Cardinals. And then he hit a home run in Game 1, becoming the first Washington National to homer in the in the World Series. They would win in 7 games, and Zimmerman went 5 for 22 with 2 RBIs, but he still did okay. Zimmerman was a free agent after the Nats declined to exercise that $18 million club option. But Zimmerman signed a 1-year, $2 million deal to return to the Nats. But he didn't want to play in 2020 because of the COVID pandemic. But he re-signed with the Nats in 2021, breaking Tim Raines' mark for most runs in Expos/Nationals history, and then beat Tim Wallach for the most games played in an Expos/Nats jersey. I thought it was Tim Wallach. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I thought it would be Gary Carter, but I guess not. Anyway, Zimmerman started at first base on the final day of the season, October 3rd, 2021, but was yanked in the 8th inning, getting a standing ovation for Nationals Park, and sadly, Washington would choke against Boston. If Washington had beaten Boston, it would have been a 1-game playoff between the Red Sox and Blue Jays for the trip to the postseason as a wildcard team. So Zimmerman announced his retirement in February 2022, and his number 11 is the first Washington player. It's the first Washington player to get his jersey retired. I mean, there have been different numbers retired by the Expos, but still, number 11 was retired. Zimmerman's mother has multiple sclerosis and has needed a wheelchair since 2000. Ryan said it developed him because he had to grow up fast. So it doesn't really matter in the end, does it? Anyway, Zimmerman was engaged to a tech firm representative and had three children, 2 daughters and a son, and live in Virginia. But Ryan Zimmerman will always be Washington's #1 guy. Because I know Bryce Harper left for Philadelphia. Steven Strasburg, I think he's still there, but he's waning. And Juan Soto demanded a trade and was sent to San Diego. So Washington just can't keep their guys for what it's worth. Not good if you're a Washington fan. Not like me, of course. I'm not a Washington fan. Anyway, I'm Dread Time and I do.